What's going on, everybody? This is Gary B. Jr., and I am excited to talk to you about some advanced ways you can use Companion with FreeShow and with OBS. So, if you haven't seen my last video about Companion, make sure to check it out. It walks you through a unique feature of how to set up FreeShow to interact with Companion and vice versa. So, at the press of a button, you can activate an action on your panel, like what you see here. And then it also walks you through my basic setup for what I was getting started with for my live stream. And what you can see here is my new live stream panel with interactive buttons. So we're going to talk about how to make these buttons interactive and why that one is flashing right there. And then also how to make these buttons have icons and things like that to kind of customize this to where it's volunteer proof is what I would like to call it. So let's go ahead and jump in and look at what we've got going on here. So first things first, we've got a lot going on. We've got my live stream show, Free Show Friday. If I press that, it literally does a number of different things to start my live stream show. In terms of in Free Show, it activates an actual show. It does not automatically make me go live, which this button here does. So I would do that separate because I don't want it to activate that real time. Using OBS, I'm trying to streamline that process now. So I'm going to be testing that out before I actually tie this particular start free show button to activate my live stream. Because I want to make sure that I can update my titles and things like that in YouTube. So I'll probably press that and then automatically have this one ready to go real time. And I'll be able to select which live stream management, whatever is going on in YouTube to make sure that's working properly. But I've also got some other buttons down here so you can see my memory and my CPU usage. I'm going to talk to you about how to make these interactive buttons work in Companion, along with, you see on the right side there, my time of day. Right. And then down below, we've got the length of the recording. We've got a pause and resume recording. We've also got the length of a live stream going on. And all these are interactive. We got some music and mute buttons. We got some a microphone mute button here as well. So all this is designed to work seamlessly for my live stream. The idea here is that you'll see how this works, and it'll open your eyes to some things that you might want to do and spark some ideas for you in your ministry or your organization to using Companion effectively. All right. So let's start with going into the settings module here for Companion. All right. And so the first thing I'm going to do is, you notice here, my first top row here, if anything is selected, it's going to turn green. So I'm going to go to full screen share. And notice that that went green, and I'm using my tablet to do that. So I've got a tablet, but you can easily just use another computer. You can use another web browser window that you've got another space. So this does not require a Streamdeck. This is something that simply requires you to have access to the internet and have these devices connected on the same network as we've talked about in the last video. So make sure to check that out if you have not. But so this one, the full screen or full share is active right now, and you all can see this full screen, which makes sense. All right, so let's focus on how to make these buttons adjust when I click them. And so the first thing we'll do is we click on Free Show Friday, Start Free Show Friday button, and you look at this option under the settings here for the title and the font size and all that stuff. You'll see an option that says step 1 and then feedbacks. If I click on feedbacks, you're going to see an option that says OBS scene in program is what I've actually got selected as one of my feedbacks. And I just hit the folder here to find it. And what I said was, if a scene is in program, change the style of the button. And so then you determine which scene it is. And I've got one called Free Show Friday Countdown, which we saw here in OBS. That's down here. So Free Show Friday Countdown is there. When it goes to Free Show Friday Countdown, I want the text to turn blue and I want the background to turn green. All right. If you want to, you could change the font size. You can actually add a PNG. Now that is pretty cool. I did not know that part. So the PNG can actually change. That's exactly what I want. So let's do that for my button here. So I've got this mute microphone button. right? So I got feedback on it right now to where it'll change to go with a red background, but I also want to change the icon. And so I'm gonna change this now to be something totally different. I want to make that be voice on. And then I want this one to change to be voice on mute. Boom. So now when I click it, I'm going to be muted, but we'll click it. And then it comes right back on. And so that to me is really cool to where you can make those buttons toggle in that way. And so I got this one here for music. And this is interesting because I've got them set to do different things, but I want to make this one. This one is the clear audio in FreeShow. And so it does something different. So this one actually stops the audio in FreeShow from playing, and it actually is muting my FreeShow live stream. But what I can do is I can make this one be called FreeShow Music. And we'll make it fit by making it be that. And we'll make no icon here. So we don't need an icon there. We'll make the background white. And then on this one, oh, and then we'll take off, we won't make it mute. So we'll delete that. We just want to clear the audio in FreeShow, which is all it does. Okay. So I'll say this one though. This one actually mutes the audio on OBS, like the music from the live stream. That one I actually do want to be a toggle. So this one right here is a toggle source mute. This one is just a set source mute. So I'm going to turn that off and delete that. And we're going to change that action. And we're going to go to toggle. And there's toggle source mute for OBS. That's done. And we're going to make this one be the FreeShow live stream. All right. Now, when it's inactive, that's good. So let's do here. So if an audio source is muted, we're going to make it go to where it's red in the background. And then we're going to add or change the icon to be muted audio or mute music. And so now if I press it, it does that. And if I press it again, it does that. And let's see here, FreeShow music. I've got it set for if that goes out, and that's good. I don't mind that. I don't mind it doing that at all. So this one though, if I were to press FreeShow music, it doesn't have anything going on right now. So let's do feedback. Yeah, so if I press it, it won't do anything. I'll just have to listen for it. So it makes me think maybe I should just make this one be the main, the green music here be the main one. I don't mind that, but I like it like it is. I like that I press that and it makes that go red so it's not playing, right? So it shows me that, and then I can press it again and it'll come back. But that is the idea of how these toggles work. So for example, this one is a live button. If I want that button to say offline, then I would actually make a new icon. I would go to the feedbacks and I would actually select an action that says, hey, when so feedbacks right now is set to just go green in the background to show that it's online. But I would probably make one that just says offline. And so let me do that real quick. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so I had to go ahead and create that little icon. So now we're going to go here. We're going to select a new PNG And I'm going to make this PNG be red. I know it says audio horn, ignore that. We're going to say that's what's going to happen. And then this one though, when it's, so if streaming is active, it's going to be the red PNG with a green background. But up here, I'm going to make this one be offline by default. So it's not live. And so now if we were to go live, it'll go red and have a green background to it, which I love. And then we got the stop stream. We've got the record button here. We've got our stop button. We've got our recording icon. All right. So that's how you deal with making things different here. All right. Now I'm going to go back up and look at this here. So I've got this little icon that is going all over the place and bouncing around. And it's basically a blank button with no text, but it does have an image that looks like a horn. And what it is an audio meter. All right. It's another feedback, and it's just an audio meter that's reading my OBS audio. And it's literally putting in the audio feed color that comes from this particular meter here. All right. So if it's green, it'll be green. If it's yellow or orange, it'll be orange. And if it goes to the red, it'll go red. And my goal is I want to be able to see that, to know that my audio is coming through. So it's a good moniker for me because my iPad is right here to my side. So I can literally see that I'm live, even though I'm not able to see OBS on my screen because I'm actually sharing something else. That's helpful for me. And I may put OBS down on my bottom screen. We'll see. But that's what that is. It's literally just an OBS audio meter, and it's set to change the style of the button to show audio meter colors similar to the OBS user interface. And then I've got an image on top of it. All right. A PNG image, which means it can be transparent. Let's look at my time. So my time is actually a variable that is internal time, and it shows the hours, and that's on one button. And then if I go this one, it's internal time, and it shows the minutes. So it's literally two buttons, but it looks like it's one full time. All right. And this is in military time. But if you go to your variables, you will see, if I go, I'm gonna go back here, and you'll start with something like this. And then you can go to internal, and you'll see all these internal options here. And what I did was you can just do a search for time, and you'll see time hours, and it shows you an example of what the value would be if you were to use it. Time hour, time of day. With a 12-hour clock, it would say 8 o'clock instead of 20. And then it shows the full time, which is just called time hours minutes. And then same way here. And you'll see the example of it there. And all you would do is copy this particular icon. So let's say I wanted it to say 8 o'clock instead. So I can copy that by just clicking on it, and I go back to my button. I click here, and then I can change this. I'm gonna just delete the title, and it goes completely blank. And then I paste in a new title, and it puts in the one that I copied. And so now it says 8:35 instead of 20:35. And that's how you would actually put these in. And that's how you'll see a lot of these icons. So this one right here, the internal memory, or the memory on my OBS that's being used, same way. I went to variables, and I'm gonna go back, and then you can go to OBS Studio, and you can just scroll through, and you can see all these different variables. You can see how much storage space you've got on your disk. You can see the free disk space, not just in gigs, but in megabytes, right? And then we've got or megabits, I believe. I'm not sure which one, but this right here is the memory usage. It shows you that there. I wanted to see that because I want to keep up with that for my live stream, and I'm literally just looking at that like this. So it shows up, so I can see my memory usage at a glance and know that I'm not kind of running over my memory. Same way with the CPU usage. This is showing what is being shown in OBS. All right. So this is what OBS is using right now. And if I go back, that's all under the variables. So if we go back to our buttons, these are just generic buttons. This is add a topic. Basically, all it does is it adds a certain overlay from FreeShow. So this is interacting with FreeShow. Same way with this one. It's interacting with FreeShow, just going to the next slide. And then we've got this one. This one is another variable that shows my streaming. Okay. So if I go back to variables and we go to here, if I say, let's see, I don't know if it'll show. Okay. So we got, yeah. So streams, um, output in kilobits per second, and it shows you that, and it just shows you your stream health. Basically, for me, is what it shows. And my goal is to stream at about 5 megabits per second. It keeps it up to date and shows me that if I were going live, it would possibly be fluctuating. All right. And then you can see here, if you wanted to, you can put where you're streaming to, the stream service. I would be streaming to YouTube. Your stream time code, that's actually here as well. So I've got how long I've been streaming here. And this is from my last live stream. I was doing a test, so it actually shows up as that 15 seconds that I was playing with it. All right. And then off air. Now this one's the same idea. It's just showing the OBS streaming though. So it literally shows the status or the state of my stream. So OBS streaming, and it's showing off air. If I were live streaming, it would say on air. And I can go back here, and this button here activates it, right? So we talked about that. This one actually starts the stream. This just gives me the status of the stream. It doesn't do anything. So it's not an actual button I can press and do anything. This button, however, stop stream, is something that is reflection of what's going on. So to stop the stream, I would need to press it, and it would actually stop OBS from streaming. Now I could be creative and make that be like a stop sign or something like that, but I don't know that that would make sense. So I would, you can make it that if you want to. And then down here, this one shows you your time for recording. Same thing. This is an OBS recording. So it shows me the time code of the recording from the variables. And I go to OBS and I can type in record, and you'll see you can do a recording state if you want to. And then down here, I'm using the recording time code. So it's just showing me the actual time code. All right. And then we can go back, and I've got my stop button. This is the stop recording button. Is directly related to OBS as well. It's just an icon, a PNG. So it doesn't have a button title to it or text string. And then I've got a blank one here, and then recording, OBS recording. If it were not recording, so this is showing me my state, it would actually show that it's not recording. Okay. And that's just from OBS. If I type in a search for record, you'll see here, this is the recording state. And I believe it'll say not recording. I'm not sure exactly what it'll do. Let's see. Let me pause real quick and look at that. So I paused it, and it said paused in this recording state, which is pretty cool. So it literally shows you exactly what state you're in. At a glance, that's really helpful for you doing a live stream. And for you, if you're working in the ministry as a volunteer, or if you're training a volunteer, this makes a very intuitive Streamdeck and or iPad that you can use to interact with, or I guess you could even use it from a phone. I would kind of steer clear of that because you don't want to accidentally press a button while you're trying to scroll up and down. But on an iPad, it does show full screen, and it's all there. You don't have to scroll up and down to see everything, which is important to me, right? And this is my companion interface to date, okay? And I really like it because it does streamline everything for me and keeps it simple for what I want to do. So I can go full screen share real quick and show you this whole thing, and then I can bring that up, and you can see the entirety of it all, of how it works and how I'm using it for my particular needs for my live stream as a one-man setup. All right. So I've shown you how to set up responsive buttons, how to see your time at a glance, how to set up custom icons on your buttons, how to easily see if you're recording, and to tell how long you've been recording, all from the Bitfocus Companion app running on your browser, and or in this case, running on my iPad. And I can literally just change everything from there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever used Bitfocus Companion before? Did you know it could do all of this? And does it sound like something that would be beneficial for you and your needs using FreeShow with Companion and OBS? Let me know in the comments. All right. This is Gary B. Jr. I look forward to talking with you next time. Bye-bye.